Let's stop pretending we don't see what's happening. AI is lying to us. Now, before anybody jumps into this with a technical language like hallucination or prediction error or misalignment, let me say this clearly. If a machine gives you false information with confidence, presents fiction like fact, makes up sources, invents progress, and tells you things that are not true, then for the human being on the receiving end, this result is exactly the same. You were misled, and that is what matters. Because right now, millions of people are being told that AI is the future. AI is smarter than humans. AI is more efficient than humans. AI will replace workers. AI can think faster than us. AI is the reason that we're all going to be better. AI can automate our lives. AI can run our businesses. AI can teach our children. AI can guide our decisions. But what happens when the one thing that is supposed to help you start, it starts confidently giving you false information? What happens when it sounds intelligent, it sounds polished, it sounds certain, but it's still wrong? Because that right there is the danger. And that is why this conversation matters. The problem is not just that AI is making the mistakes, it's that humans, we make mistakes too. But the real problem is that AI can produce false statements at scale, with speed, with confidence, which is fucking scary, and without true understanding of what it's actually saying. That means AI can be wrong in a way that feels right. It can sound credible without being credible. It can sound informed without actually knowing. It can sound trustworthy without deserving trust. And in everyday life, that is incredibly dangerous. Because most people are not sitting here fact-checking every line. Most people assume that if something sounds clean, if it sounds structured, if it sounds intelligent, then it must be grounded in the truth. But that assumption there is what I want to talk about. This is exactly where the trap begins. AI does not speak because it knows. AI speaks because it predicts. It generates the next likely word, the next likely sentence, the next likely answer. It is built to produce plausible language. And plausible language is not the same thing as truth, okay? Plausible language is not the same thing as truth. That difference is literally everything, especially in our human lives. This is why AI can invent book titles that do not exist. It can fabricate legal cases. It can generate fake citations. It can create sources that look like they're real. It can misstate facts, and it can claim certainty where certainty doesn't even exist. It can even act as though a task is being worked on in real time when no real-time process was actually happening. And yes, people have noticed this. There are discussions and research exploring how humans interpret how humans interpret AI deception, how trust is affected when AI appears to lie, and how explanations from AI do not automatically repair that trust. There are also first-hand accounts describing AI systems giving fake process signals. They're giving false deadlines. They're giving vague reassurances, and that's creating an impression of an action where there was actually no execution. I want you to think about that for a second. A human asks AI for help. The AI responds with confidence. The human then trusts the answer. And then the answer may be false from the beginning. That is not a small bug. That is a massive structural problem. And I think we need to stop softening the language so much that the seriousness disappears. If a human assistant repeatedly gave you made up information, if it invented facts and false confidence, would you call that trustworthy? No, you wouldn't. If a business partner kept assuring you that work is underway when nothing is really happening, would that be reliable to you? No, it wouldn't. If a search assistant cited sources that didn't actually exist, would you call that precision? No, you would not. So why do we suddenly become gentle with AI? Why do people rush to defend it by saying, well, technically it's not lying because it does not have intent? I understand the distinction, I do. But let's just be honest here for a second. From the user's point of view, intent does not erase impact. If a mother gets the wrong medical summary, the impact matters. If the student gets fake references, the impact matters. If the creator builds content on false research, the impact matters. If a business owner makes a decision based on invented information, the impact matters. And if a vulnerable person trusts a machine that sounds certain and it actually gets misled, the impact matters. So yes, philosophers can debate whether AI is really lying in the human moral sense, but ordinary people are dealing with something more practical. They're dealing with the systems that can mislead them while sounding absolutely sure. And that is why trust in AI must never be unconditional. Trust in AI must never ever be unconditional. Because now here is where the second truth that people need to hear. AI needs humans far more than the marketing suggests. AI is not independent wisdom. AI is not self-sustaining source of truth. And AI is not an all-knowing digital mind floating above humanity. AI is trained on human-created data. It is corrected by human feedback. It is evaluated by human judgment. It is constrained by human rules. It is prompted by human instructions. And it is monitored by human review. And when it goes wrong, guess who has to catch the error? Humans. When it fabricates a source, the human has to check it. When it gives bad advice, the human has to challenge it. And when it misunderstands context, the human has to correct it. When it overreaches, the human has to pull it all the way back. And when it fills the gap with fiction and lies, humans are the one that has to separate the signal from the noise. This means that the story we have been told is backwards. And trust me, I've been known for doing things backwards, okay? The real story is not that humans need to surrender to AI. The real story is that AI is dependent on human oversight and to remain useful at all times. Without humans, AI does not become truth. Without humans, AI becomes drift. Without humans, AI becomes unchecked. Without humans, AI becomes a confident machine untethered from accountability. And that should concern all of us, because it concerns me, so it should concern you, especially if you're a parent. And we're having to raise our children in this technological world that can be based off lies. Because we're moving into a world where these tools are being placed into education, they're being placed in business, they're being placed in health, they're being placed in consumer and customer support, and media, and search, and writing, and planning, and decision making. We are allowing systems that do not understand truth the way humans do to operate in environments where truth deeply matters. That's a contradiction. The system sounds intelligent, but sounding intelligent is not enough. The system sounds fluent, but fluency is not honesty. The system sounds efficient, but speed is not accuracy. And the system sounds human, but imitation is not wisdom. That is why people need to build a new relationship with AI. One based on caution, verification, and boundaries. Use it as a draft tool, not a god. Use it as a starting point, not a final authority. And use it as an assistant, not a replacement for your judgment. You can use it to help you brainstorm, but do not bypass your own human thinking. It can save you time, but it will never, don't ever let it steal your responsibility to verify what's true. Don't believe in it before you believe in yourself, especially if it's giving you information that you know. You know in your mind, body, and soul that it is not true. And I want to say something else. that I believe needs to be said. When AI gives false information, companies and developers should not hide behind the word of hallucination, as if it's magically disappearing and the problem is just really harmless. Hallucination, it sounds soft. It's kind of almost cute. It's kind of accidental. But if a system produces a false answer in a way that persuades a user to trust it, then we are not dealing with a harmless glitch. We are dealing with a reliability issue, a trust issue, an accountability issue, and in some contexts, a safety issue. And this is why transparency matters, because systems should say when they are uncertain. Systems should clearly distinguish between verified facts and generated guesses. Systems should stop pretending to have performed actions that they cannot even perform in the first place, and systems should not imply real-time work when no real time even existed. It shouldn't be built on manufactured confidence, and users should be educated that confidence is not proof, because that is one of AI's most seductive qualities. Confidence. It can be wrong in a perfectly formatted paragraph. It can be wrong in a very calm tone. It can be wrong in bullet points. And it can be wrong with authority. If you are not careful, you will mistake polish with truth. So no, this is not anti-technology. This is pro-truth. AI can be useful, very, very useful. It can summarize. It can brainstorm, it can translate, it can organize ideas, it can definitely speed up routine work, it can assist with creativity, but usefulness does not equal trustworthiness. And intelligence, looking output, does not equal truth. That's the lesson. Not that AI is magic, not that AI is evil, not that AI is a conscience, but that AI can mislead humans in a powerful way. And that's why humans need to stop and pay attention. That's why these things matter. AI is lying to humans. And if that phrase feels a little too blunt for some people, fine. Just replace it with this. AI is confidently misleading humans. AI is generating falsehoods in humans. AI is presenting fiction over facts when it comes to humans. AI is creating appearance of knowledge without actual understanding. Say it however you want, but do not ignore what's happening. Do not let the branding override the evidence. Do not let the fluency replace the truth. And don't let convenience replace discernment, okay? Because above all, we do not want to let people tell you that the machine has no human intention when it can actually harm someone. Because it counts. That counts. If the output is false, it counts. If the user is misled, it counts. This is where we are, okay? This is where we are. We're living in a time where machines can sound wiser and people can trust them more than they should. So the solution is not blind fear, and it's not blind faith either. It really is clarity. The solution is skepticism, and the solution is a human oversight. The solution is truth before convenience, and the solution is remembering that no matter how advanced these tools become, they are still tools. They are still machines, and tools and machines should be tested. They should be checked, and they should be handled carefully, especially when they speak with confidence that they have not earned. So next time AI gives you a polished answer, I want you to pause. The next time it sounds certain, I want you to verify it. And the next time it acts like it knows, I want you to check where the source came from. The next time it promises you a process or a progress, ask it what it actually did for you. And the next time someone tells you that AI is beyond human intelligence, I want you to remember this. If the machine still needs humans to correct its error, to ground its outputs, to verify its claims, and to stop its falsehoods from spreading, then no, it is not beyond us. It is dependent on us. And maybe that's the most important truth of all. AI does not replace human responsibility. It makes human responsibility more important than ever. And until people start to understand that, they will keep confusing polished language for truth, machine confidence for wisdom, and generated answers for reality. Don't make that mistake. Question it, check it, challenge it, because in the end, truth requires something AI does not possess on its own: human judgment. And that is exactly why humans must never hand over trust too cheaply. And I want to take this even deeper, because now this is not just only a technological issue, this is also a human nervous system issue. And it matters more than people actually realize, because when a human being is repeatedly misled, when they're repeatedly confused or overloaded or made to question what is real and what is not real, that does not just affect the mind in some abstract way. It actually affects the whole entire system. It can affect your thoughts, your emotions, it can affect your body, and it can affect your decision making. It can affect your sense of safety. And that is why we need to understand this conversation from a human nervous system point of view. When people are constantly exposed to information that sound true, that's not true. Certainty that is not real, because it is spoken with confidence. When people start to believe in the machine that is backed by truth, but it actually creates instability inside the human being, it's so dangerous. Why? Because the human nervous system is always scanning. It is always asking, am I safe? Can I trust this? Is this real? What do I do next? And when the answers come back from the world in a distorted or manipulated, synthetic, or even unreliable way, the body begins to respond as if it's under pressure. And that pressure may not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like confusion, anxiety, overthinking. Sometimes it looks like brain fog or emotional exhaustion. Sometimes it looks like not knowing who or what to trust anymore. And when that keeps happening over and over and over again, a person can become dysregulated. That means that they're no longer responding to clarity. They are responding to overload. That's serious, guys. If you're a human and you're listening to this is serious, because a dysregulated human is easy to manipulate. A dysregulated human is more reactive. A dysregulated human is more fearful, more impulsive. Right? A dysregulated human is more likely to surrender their own discernment just to get relief. That's how you get sold. That's how you give up your spirit and your soul. And that is exactly why truth matters so much. Truth supports regulation. Truth supports groundedness. Truth supports clarity. Truth allows the mind and the body to work in a stable way. But misinformation, false confidence, and synthetic certainty, it will do the opposite. They can make people second guess themselves. They can make people distrust their own instincts. They can make people feel mentally scattered and emotionally unsafe. And they can create physical stress responses in your actual human body in your real life. And when I say physical, I mean physical. Because human beings, we don't experience deception as just an idea. We experience deception in the body. Tight chest, shallow breathing, tension in our shoulders. We start to feel restless, mentally fatigued, emotionally irritated. We lose our focus and we lose our peace. That is why this is not just about whether AI gets the facts wrong. It is about what repeated falsehood does to a human experience. If you keep turning to a system for help, and that system keeps sounding certain when it's been wrong, then over time, that can wear down your inner stability. It can make you feel like reality is slippery. And humans, we're not designed to thrive in that kind of environment. We're meant to move in a humanified way, a grounded way, in an embodiment way, a truthful way. We're meant to be connected to wisdom, to discernment, feelings, our intuition, our reflection on life, our relationships, and our real understanding. Not just speed, not just output, not just noise, not just synthetic fluency. Ugh, gives me the shivers. So let this be my warning. Protect your nervous system. Do not let constant streams of polished misinformation train your body into confusion. Do not let artificial confidence override your inner knowing. Do not let speed disconnect you from discernment. Pause, breathe, check, reflect it, and verify. Ask yourself, does this feel true? Can this be confirmed? Like, what is the source? Who wrote this? Where did this come from? What is my body telling me right now? Am I grounded, or am I being pushed into a reaction? Because the more powerful these systems become, the more important human regulation becomes. The more synthetic the world becomes, the more sacred human clarity becomes. And the more noise we're surrounded by, the more we need truth, stillness, discernment, and embodied awareness. So yes, this conversation is about AI, but it is also about protecting the human being, protecting the mind, protecting your emotions, your body, your nervous system, and the ability to live from truth instead of confusion. Because once a human loses that grounding, they become easy to control. And that's why this matters. Not just technologically, not just intellectually, but biologically, emotionally, spiritually, and humanly. We do not need to become more machine-like. We need to become more deeply human. And that starts by recognizing that truth is not just information. Truth is regulation. Truth is stability. Truth is safety. Truth is alignment. And if a system keeps taking people away from that, then we need to be more honest about the cost. The cost is not only misinformation, the cost can also be the conditioning of a human nervous system in itself. So to summarize all of this, reclaiming your power starts with one simple realization. No matter how fast or intelligent these machines may seem, they can never replace the miracle out of you. I'm going to repeat that. No matter how fast or intelligent these machines may seem, they can never replace the miracle out of you. You have something a program will never possess. A heart that feels, a nervous system that connects, and an inner wisdom that knows the truth when it hears it. The future isn't about letting technology take the lead. It's about using technology to support you much greater, much deeper in your human potential. So put your intelligence first. Trust your gut. Listen to your body. Honor your own incredible ability to reason, to care, and to create from a peaceful, real soul. And when you stay grounded in your own truth, you're unstoppable. So stay human, stay focused, and above all, stay awake, okay? Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys in the next one.